Hi, this is Ashlie Johnson with Brook Human Resource Solutions, back to tell you a little bit more information for your HR department. Today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the value of documentation. In the world of human resources and employment, documentation about an employee's performance can make or break your ability to discipline, terminate, fairly promote, reward, and recognize your employees. But this shouldn't only happen once a year. It needs to be an ongoing process. Good documentation creates credibility for the employer by showing that employees are treated in a fair and consistent manner at all times during the course of their employment. Let's talk a little bit about what can documentation do. It can provide evidence that performance issues were discussed with an employee in a timely and concise fashion. It can offer a history of the employee's improvement or failure to improve performance over time. It is chronological and a precise description of the employee's actions, the manager's actions, and the events as they occur. Documentation can also provide evidence that supports management's decisions to make unfavorable actions such as discipline or termination with an employee. Good documentation can really save you in those situations. It can also offer proof that an employee deserves an available promotion or an opportunity over another employee who might also be eligible. It provides evidence to justify salary increases or decreases, or why an employee received no raise. Documentation can protect an employer's interest in the event of a lawsuit. Documentation can support management's actions in terminating an unsuccessful employment, and it can also prove that the employee was terminated for reasons that are legal as opposed to others such as illegal discrimination. When you're creating quality documentation, there's a couple things that you need to do. And the first is you need to clearly define the company's expectations. You need to state what the job description or the company policies require. Don't just simply tell a worker they must show up on time and instead say, your job begins at 8 a.m., at which time you should be at your desk ready to answer client calls or ready to do whatever duties you expect of them. If your company doesn't have quality job descriptions, now is a great time to update or create them, and I can certainly help you with that if you'd like. When providing job descriptions to a new employee, ask them to sign off on the document to record mutual understanding of those expectations. Review job descriptions with your employees at least annually. If the job has grown, shifted, or changed, be sure to update the job description and have the employee sign off that they understand it. When you're doing the documentation, you want to focus on behavior, not the person. So concentrate on the incident or the behavior, whether it's positive or negative. Stick to the facts and don't include opinions about the employee or comment on their personality traits. For example, instead of saying, John is irresponsible, describe the specific actions that led to this conclusion. John lost the keys to the company van. John forgot to lock up when leaving. John missed a deadline on whatever date. Avoid making broad judgments, such as using the words like always, never, which can easily be disputed by an employee attorney. Best practice is to record specific dates to show when and where the unwanted behavior occurred. Keep your observations job related. Describe how the worker's behavior impacted others trying to do their jobs as well. When you're coming up with good documentation, you also want to create a specific action plan. So use that conversation as an opportunity to coach the employee towards improvement and then document what improvement looks like. Include specific steps that the employee will take to improve and what you will do to help. Set deadlines for correcting the behavior or performance. Don't say we expect you to turn things around immediately. Rather say we expect your report will be turned in by 5 p.m. tomorrow. Right? Give people deadlines. Management must follow up at the specified deadline as well. So management, if you're giving an employee a deadline and you're holding them accountable to that, you need to be following up on that as well. And lastly, be clear about the consequences. The documentation should indicate what action you will take if the employee doesn't meet the stated standards. If your employee doesn't meet the objectives, what is going to happen? And are you prepared to follow through with whatever that consequence is? What is the deadline for the problem to be solved? When will you meet again to discuss? And address all these questions when documenting that employee behavior. Be prepared to follow through. I think that in this environment that we have right now, where employees are very valuable, We used to be able to say 3 strikes and you're terminated. We can't do that anymore. It's really important that you think about what your consequences are going to be and you follow through on them. Be creative with your consequences. There are other better consequences out there that improve employee behavior outside of threat of termination. So think about things like if they're eligible for a bonus, do they lose their eligibility for that bonus if they don't maintain certain behaviors? Do they get a bonus if they don't have any disciplinary action throughout the course of the year? Things like that. In this world today, we need to be creative about how we discipline our employees, and then we need to document, document, document. We live in a very litigious society, and it's very important to protect your business from liability when an employee says that they were wrongfully terminated or that they didn't receive a raise because of a discrimination issue. So make sure that you are following up on your documentation. I hope that you found this presentation helpful. Ashlie with Brook HR, please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Thanks and have a great day.